It's your boy T-Vocal, the host.
Hey, y'all. It's your favorite girl in the world, D Ford.
Man, what's up?
First of all,
what's up?
happy quarter year.
Come on.
Happy 2025.
Come on. You
Does
hear me?
anybody else feel like 2025 got here fast? Like it was just 2000 yesterday.
Well, I don't feel like it was fast. 2024 was a long, hard year for me.
2024 was like
Happy to
12
see
years.
Baby, that was a 12 years of a lot.
I like that. 12 years of a lot. Not 12 years of a slave. 12
Okay,
years of a lot. Oh, that needs to be a movie. Talking about 2024 in real deal.
Don't
12 years of a lot.
At least make a short out of it.
Listen,
Come on.
Real deal. But hey, y'all, we are super excited. And not only are we happy to be here with our amazing guest, but we are super excited. Shouts out to T-Vocals and Nard Music Group.
Bless you.
Shouts
Thank you.
out to the
Bless,
Nard
bless.
family. We are in our new space, guys. Check it
Congratulations.
out,
Yes,
y'all.
yes.
Like we are
Yes.
official.
Yeah, right.
We got the whole setup. We have an amazing setup downtown Shreveport. Shouts out to everyone who made
It's
it.
amazing.
Listen.
I just want y'all to know I feel so honored and privileged to come in this
And this is
space.
our first official
Yes,
show
first show.
of the year.
Yes.
Find out.
First
Mona,
episode.
So that is why
Come on,
today
first
is
episode.
all
Third
the
season.
better. Season 3,
Yes.
episode 1 with the
Yes.
amazing, the one and only Mona B,
Come
y'all.
on.
Miss Mona Bowman, guys. Like, listen, y'all have no idea. I often get starstruck, but I only get starstruck with Shreveport people. Like, I have really been we interview a lot of people. I've been amongst some great stars. I might get starstruck if I get around Beyonce because, like, you know, she's B, right? But I get so excited when I am when I get the ability to be around people from Shreveport who made it. Not because you can't make it because you're from Shreveport, right? Because, like, I mean, we're dope as hell, but because it just reminds me in my heart that, like, I can do it too. And it reminds me that all the other kids and everyone else who has dreams, who are from the cities, you know, I like to look at y'all as the reminders of, you know, just a reminder.
Yes.
The only thing you got to do is do the work.
Do the work.
And your talent going to show up for you.
And I would say not made it, making it.
Making
'Cause
it.
I ain't stopped.
And
I'm
won't
just
stop.
getting started.
Won't stop. So look, y'all, let us tell you who this amazing woman is. Do you want to run down the long list? Or do you want to do the honors, or can we oblige? Can we? I think we should tag team.
I never really, it ain't nobody but God. The opportunities that God has given. So if y'all want to go that route, I'm just happy to be a little brown girl from Motown.
Listen,
Come
brown
on.
girl
That's
from
just
Motown doing her big one.
Dory, I want you to
every
give her
time.
her flowers. Give her flowers right quick.
Doing her big one
Give her
every
flowers.
time. So I'm going to tell you, first of all, I have to tell you thank you, and I appreciate you because I admired you before I ever knew who you were. I don't know if you remember or not, but like probably almost 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to honor you at an event, one of my first events that I did, and your son came.
Yes.
Philip came and accepted the honor on your behalf.
Yes.
And I had no idea who you were, but your son spoke so highly of you.
Don't make me cry here. I'm a big mama.
He spoke so highly of you, and he just talked about how perseverance was the word that he kept saying, like how you just persevered, and how like not only did you persevere, but you pulled other people to come. And so that made me start doing my little research, like, because I think I'm hot stuff out here in these streets, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, who is this woman that's doing all of this stuff on the global level that's from Shreveport?
Yes.
And I was just immediately blown away. And to hear your search, and I really found out about this when I was in a really low point. I was in my single mama pit. Yeah. And in that single mama pit, I felt like all of the dreams that I wanted. A lot of people, I have D Ford Entertainment, so I started doing comedy shows and parties and events and helping people achieve their dreams because I felt like I had missed the mark of being able to achieve my dreams because I'm a mama now. Now, goddamn, now I'm a mama 2 times, right? Yeah. So now I've pushed my dreams back further. But then when I learned your story and I saw how, I had my first child when I was 21, I was in college, but you were in high school.
I was 17.
And how you just still were,
Graduated with honors.
I was just about to say all the things.
All the things.
Still, you did not allow that to stop you. So you made me get off my I was about to cuss.
Blessed assurance. That's what my pastor said. Blessed assurance.
Yes, you made me get off my blessed assurance and stop making excuses.
Yes.
You know, having kids was literally just a crutch for me not to do the work. Because how many other people do we know have had kids and so many different things? So I just want to say thank you for never stopping.
Oh,
thank you for loving you enough to keep going and knowing that you pursuing your dream was going to help many other people. Pursue their dreams, and more than anything else, thank you for loving God and being vocal about that.
I'd never be here if it wasn't for
that was something else that you really, really helped me with, because I've always been a guy girl, right? But I haven't always been happy to be a guy girl. I felt like being a guy girl mean that life had to be boring and I couldn't do any of the things. That's that misconception. Yes. That's the enemy wanted me to.
Oh, yes.
You know,
just gave me chills.
But you made me be like, oh, it's okay. And the more I tried to run away from being a guy girl, the more I ran into all sorts of craziness. But when I accepted it and stood in it and changed the game, and that's the secret sauce. So thank you for standing in your secret sauce, because it totally had, you know, as creatives, we're hard on ourselves.
Of course.
You know, as talented people, we know we
Especially
can.
being in a small space and you don't see that many people that look like you. I'm so excited to see so many people are honoring their artists.
Yes.
You know, being that different. And I'm grateful for my mother, because my mother placed something in me early. She said, God does not make carbon copies.
Oh, that's good.
He makes priceless originals.
Come on.
And her telling me that in elementary school changed the game, because I believed everything my mama say. Y'all kids that listening to this, always pay attention and listen to those elders that are there, that are pouring into you. Trust the process and believe what they say. Because my mom poured that into me, and I don't think she even realized what she said. But even now at 51, that's still
51 where? Come on here. Okay.
That still lingers with me, because it matters. It lets you know the importance of how God individually made you, even with twins, even with quadruplets. Nobody's the same.
Nobody's the same.
So if I'm out of all these people that God has created and all these spirits that God have allowed to be made, my spirit is this one.
That one.
So I own it unapologetically. I don't care who in the room, what they got, when they got. I am Mona B, and I'm excited and grateful that I am a vessel and I am who I am, and a work in progress. So just working on myself to be able to be that light, to be able to show others that it's okay to be you, because we have to be.
We have to be you. Everybody else is taken.
And why be a clone? Who wants clones?
Right.
What?
Right.
But I'm grateful, and thank you for saying that, because it pours into me for hearing you say that, because a lot of times you don't always get a hit of those stories from people that even indirectly that's connected to you, that see your walk and blessed by your walk. Because that's always been my goal and my prayer, even as a young woman that started in the salon, you know, bootlegging from doing my friend's hair, going to a salon, going to college, then going to salon, and then actually being able to walk into this industry and be in place where I am and working up into this business. It matters so much to see how God is so good. But I know where it came from. It come from my root. My grandmother raised me up into it. You know, we all waver and trying to figure out and these things, but God always bump you back where you need to be.
Because the foundation.
Because of the foundation.
Train them up.
Train them up.
So let's get into the tea, guys. We know y'all want the tea. We know y'all want the tea, right? So we are here with the amazing Miss Mona B, Mona Bowman. If you do not follow her, if you do not follow us on Culturally Connected, make sure you go do all the things right now, all right? We're about to get into the meat of it.
But before that, though, I like your earrings.
Well, you know, they are, custom affirmed accessories, our Yes Honey Yarn earrings.
And they're your sponsor, right?
They are our sponsor. And, you haven't really seen me with them on because they can be a little hot, but it's cold.
Come on.
It's cold outside now. So these are the perfect earrings to wear because not only are they cute and they're the perfect pop, but they actually keep your neck warm, too. Like if you wear them in the summer, you're going to be sweating.
Right.
Especially Louisiana.
Come on.
But it definitely keeps it keeps your neck warm as well. So
And
yeah, the whole
classy.
thing. Well, thank you for recognizing my earrings.
Yeah.
I really like your hat and this whole fit.
Okay.
Thank you.
I got
Yes.
little Rude Boys on
Shout out
over
to
there.
Rude Boy Artworks. Yeah, they are my sponsor, my clothing and accessory sponsor. So shout out to them. Appreciate y'all, man. They all the way on Juella, across the street from Checkers.
Oh, wow.
So if you know what Checkers is, go
Nice.
check them out. They do
I ain't had Checkers in a while.
customized. I know, right? They do customized stuff. So if you got a jacket that you want them to put some rhinestones in it, stitch some up, they got you.
Oh, wow.
Airbrush. When I went to the Mike Tyson fight, they did me a Mike Tyson airbrush, which was so dope. So that was cool about that. So yeah, shout out to Rude Boys.
And guess
man.
what else?
Yeah.
We have you a piece of merchandise that's coming from Rude Boys,
Yes.
and we have
Oh,
you
let me
earrings
sign up.
coming from Honey Yarn earrings, because that's how we're doing it in
Yes.
2025
Thank you.
on
Yes.
Culturally Connected.
Most definitely.
And we
Blessings on
want you, yes, and we as you travel the world and do all the greatness, and people be like, "Oh, that's cute." We want you to be like, "Oh yeah, it's from my hometown, Shreveport,"
definitely, yes.
because we know you're gonna have that thing all in Africa and everywhere. But we're gonna get back to that.
we're gonna get back
All
to
right,
that. Yeah,
so
yeah,
look,
yeah.
y'all. Again, we have the amazing Ms. Mona B.
Yes.
I want to know, how did you end up in spaces with the greats Denzel Washington, Forrest Whitaker? How
Come
did you
on, let's
end
go
up
back.
in the space with
Way
being
back.
on movie sets, being produced by Oprah Winfrey, all the way back in the day, but then even ending up on the newly released Color Purple, the piano lesson.
Man, piano lesson. Come on.
Dust your shoulders
That's
off, girl.
nominated for
Like,
what?
What?
NAACP.
NAACP award.
So grateful.
All the things, right?
Nobody but
So
God.
how did you end up in the spaces with the greats?
Was so funny. Anytime that any type of celebrity or anybody that would come through for concerts and all the things, it was so funny growing up, because I was a dancer, I was a performer, that was my first love. I wanted to act and I would dance and all those things. So we would always go to the different events, but it was so crazy. We went, somehow we would always connect and be able to bump into whoever
With
was
the
in the
stars.
city. And I used to get tickled because my cousin them would say, Mona, we always want to go with you because somehow you always end up meeting these people. And I was like, because baby, I'm a star.
Come on
I
here.
always wrote my name, Andrea. I always made my A star, because as a young woman, God revealed to me in a dream when I was probably about 7, 8 years old that I would be amongst the stars. I never told people that for years and years and years. I would tell my mom, and she'd be like, "Yeah, baby, you a star, 'cause you mama baby." And I'm like,
Right.
"No, mama, I'm different." And she'd be like, "Yeah, that's so sweet. Yeah, you different." But she didn't know, but she encouraged me in anything that I wanted. But
That's
it was so
good.
crazy that my cousin would speak that and say, "You always end up with these folk. How you always?" And I'm like, "I'm a star. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna believe me one day." But life be lifing.
Facts.
End up getting pregnant my senior year because I started doing hair in the 7th grade.
Wow.
Ended up doing
Seventh grade.
7th grade with some orange handle scissors.
Come on. Wow.
I remember
You
the
know them
scissors.
orange handle scissors
Yes.
from the dollar store. Ended up cutting my cousin hair. She had got a bad haircut. You know, back in the 90s, at the late 80s, Salt and Pepper had that stacked out wedge with the head, the tail in the back. And my cousin had beautiful long hair, and she wanted this haircut. My grandmother finally let her get the haircut. Baby, the lady that cut her hair cut her a bowl cut.
Oh no.
No, not a stack out, not a layer, not a
No.
nothing. So she ended up losing all that hair and just had the tailing back. So she came home crying. "Oh my God, if I was gonna lose this much hair, at least I could have had the style."
Right.
And she was just crying. And I said, "Cuz, show me the picture." You know how the hype hair and all those magazines back in the day.
Yeah, kids don't know nothing about
They don't know
magazines.
about magazine because the internet on his phone.
Right.
Come on.
And she showed me the picture, and I could see it when she showed me. I could see all I had to do was take the hair out, leave the hair long on the top. I could make that wedge, and I could curl it. And I did. And that haircut led to me cutting my sister's hair. My sister seen her hair. "Who cut Tasha hair?" I'm like, "Me?" She was like, "What?" She was like, "Can you give me a wedge bob? I seen this thing." Because I think it was Ramshack was the hottest salon back in the day.
Yep,
And she was
I
like, "Man,
remember
I can't
Ramshack.
afford no Ramshack, but I want this hairstyle." My sister got super thick, pretty hair. And I was like, "If you trust me, show me a picture. I'll try." Cut that wedge. That thing was everything. And she worked at Flying J out there way in Greenwood.
Oh, yeah,
At
way
the
out there, yeah.
At the truck stop.
Come
And
on.
she ended up waiting on this lady and her husband. They was coming through from California.
Wow.
And the lady was like, man, who cut your hair? And she was like, my little sister. And she waited on the lady, left a nice little tip. She was like, for real, who cut your hair? She was like, my little sister. Like, what salon she worked in? My sister was like, she don't work in no salon. I was like, my little sister. And she was like, little sister? She was like, my little sister. And she was like, I don't care. Because if she can cut like that, she bad. Can you call your mama and ask your mama, can your little sister cut my hair?
Wow.
And she called my mom. My mom was like, yeah, she could. She gonna pay, right? And
Right.
they said, yeah, I give $50. You know, back in late
That was a
80s,
lot.
early 90s, that was a whole lot of
A
different
whole,
lot.
baby, you was balling.
Big
Candy
bag.
store, here I come.
My
That's
mom
that
took me
89
to-
cent gas,
You
though.
understand me? She took me to the beauty supply, got me, and this is how you know God just be working. Because I'm self-taught Marcel iron. Because she's supposed to went and got the spring curling iron. She got the Marcel. And you know, when you walk out, no exchange, no refund.
Right.
So I was like, this ain't the right one. So I went to the thing. They was like, no, you can't get these, baby. I was like, well, sweetie, you're going to have to figure out how to use them. And that's it. And I burnt myself one time, and that was it. Baby, I know how to lock that finger, click, 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 and lock that finger over them things. I would never. But it was that situation forced me into becoming a better hairstylist, and I didn't even know it, that I was even in the midst of that training.
Right.
Cut the lady hair. Next thing you know, I'm doing my friends at school, all through high school, getting ready for prom, all this. And my best friend, Angela, she was Angela Price then, but did Angela hair, she had the thickest hair, my cousin, everybody, just doing everybody. Then next thing I know, I got pregnant with my son. I was just like, man, I don't know what I'm finna do now, but oh well. Mom was like, no, you got this scholarship, you finna go to Wiley. And I was like, no, I won't go to college. I'd rather do something different. She was like, no, just go to school, find out if that's where you wanna go. Didn't know God was in that blessing.
He be all up in the mix.
All in the
Man.
blessing. Because when I get there, I'm doing hair in the dorm, in the freshman dorm, meet a young lady named Donette. Donette from Detroit. And y'all know Detroit always been them hair that
All
was,
of
Oh, yeah.
especially in the 80s and the 90s,
Oh, yeah, they
baby.
had it, yeah.
They was the hair capital of the world for black hair. They would come up with 17 hairstyles in one head.
in one head.
One. And I was like, wow, this girl pulled me to the side and she was like, I can't do everybody. If you could help me, you do your people, I do your, and I'll show you how to do things. And I was like, what? So I'm sitting at the feet of a young lady that already got her license because she got a license doing school. Because, you know, like I said, hair thing was a thing back then. And they were doing trainings. Like, I wish they would really go to back to Booker T, really push the funding in these different programs here because they still have it here. But even when I was in high school, I didn't hear about it until my senior year, and I had already missed half of it. But I really wish that our different schools would go back to these major trades.
Because that's where it actually starts.
That's where it
I
starts,
realized that I was speaking and planning parties. My friend, one of my
Young.
best friends, never had a birthday party, and we were like 13, and so we always had a birthday
Young.
party. So I gave one of my friends a birthday party, cooked rotel dip, and
had no idea that he was already
had
setting you
no
up.
idea that he was setting me up
'Cause
to be
guess what?
able to.
It's already in us.
It's
babe.
already in
That's
us.
the thing. It's already in us. The art of me doing hair, and I prayed. I remember seeing my mom work 3 and 4 different jobs and coming in with her feet busted. And she was just crying sometimes. And she kept it together in front of us. But I would go and peek around the corner because I always been that person that felt energy. And I would tell that she was down. And I would go in there and encourage her, rub her feet and talk to her. And I would go out. And I remember praying this prayer. Lord, bless me with one job that can take care of my family.
Wow.
And when I tell you,
Come on, somebody speak that over your
When I
life
tell
right
you-
now.
Bless
I
me.
receive that
when
from
I
me and
tell
my
you
family.
God did that
Yeah.
with the art of doing hair, and it has taken me places I know I would have never probably been able to go. Because after that, ended up coming back home from college with my second son at this point. Now I'm, like you were saying, this baby mama whole situation. I'm like, Lord, I got 2 children. I'm in the projects. But I know what you showed me.
Come on.
God, I
Let's
know what
start.
you showed me. And I can't, this can't be it. Because Shreveport ain't it. I seen other places. You showed me other places that I never even seen. But when I looked in the book, I seen those places I recognized. I'm like, Lord, but I'm here. I ain't got nothing on the system. What is happening? Trying to figure it out. And I remember they made me go to this training, you know, to be on assistance because they want you to develop skills and all
Right.
those different things. And I remember grudgingly going. But there go my dad and there go God again.
All in the mix.
Because I went hot, mad, but I remember it was Theron Jackson. He was working for the state, and he was up talking, and he was like, have you young people ever thought about where you'll be next year, where you be in 3 years, where you be in 5 years? I want y'all to write this down, where you think or where you, just based off where you at right now, where would you like to be? And I remember writing things down, but I remember leaving, and I got home. In the projects, I stayed downstairs, and my cousin stayed upstairs. And I remember sitting on the stairs downstairs, but that question kept rolling in my head, and I just sat there. You know, I'm a hip hop head. All my cousin came down, and she was like, "What you doing?" I said, "Thinking of a master plan." I went straight Airbnb rock. And I was sitting there, we was just rapping, and she was like, "No, cuz you look like you in, deep thought." And I was, and I said, "Cuz for real, I'm sitting here just praying," and I'm like, God showed me so much more, but here I am. I'm 2 kids in the projects, ain't got nothing major just that to connect me. I done dropped out of college, all these things. I'm just like, what's next for me? And she said, cuz, how about we go to beauty school? And I'm sitting there like, beauty school? What they got to do with what I got to go? Hey, I need some money today.
Right.
And I'm like, but all I thought about was her situation. She was one of the babies that her mom was on drugs growing up. She was struggling. Here she go, 2 babies in the projects too. But here go my mama's school teacher took care of. That was my option. I just chose. She was put in situations that was out of her control. And I was like, but we're in the same situation. But I know, God, you got more for me. But I feel like if she don't have this support, she's not going to ever get out of this system. I'm going to get out. I don't know where is that, God, but I'm going to get out.
Right.
But I want her out too. And I said, cuz, you know what? Let's go to school. Because I'm looking at her. This is her opportunity.
Right.
And I knew my mom would support me because anything I would do, my mom would support me. Shout out to Mildred Bowman. Y'all know that school
Come
teacher
on,
for
Mama
30-some
Holden.
years. Okay.
Me
And
mom.
Me mom. And she came and I told her, I said, well, you know what? Tanya won't go to school. I'm going to go with her. She was like, oh, okay, you think that's good? She's like, I know you like that little hair thing, but that's kind of for flunkies. And I was like,
Not flunkies.
Mama, I'm not a flunky. She's like, I know, but I'm just saying, why don't you just go back to school? I'm like, Ma, I'm finna do this with her. Let me do this. I'm gonna figure it out. And she was like, okay. Drove us to Pat Goins Beauty School on Hearn Avenue. They not there no more. Shout out to old Pat Goins.
Oh, Pat
Come on,
going.
Pat, going.
And I remember going in the door with her, and I was just like, wow, this is neat. Okay. And I'm just walking through, and I'm like, God, you got a plan for her. Where mine at? Like, I'm trying to help her, but where mine at? And I'm just still walking. I ain't heard nothing the lady said. She just showed me through the school, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cute. We go in the office. We sit down. This is where the game changed. Sat in the office, and she was like, yeah, if you're a really good hairstylist, you can make $100,000, at least $100,000. I said, excuse me, ma'am.
Come again, say what?
I said, you can make
U-turn.
$100,000 in 1 year? She said, if not more. I said, in Shreveport? She said, yes, if you're really good at what you do. I said, I pondered on that thing. I said, well, how long do I have to go to school? She said, a year. I said, because I was going to school for microbiology. I had already did 2.5 years, so I had at least about
2.5 more.
At least more, about 4 more.
Oh, wow.
By 4, because I really thought I was going to find a cure for AIDS and all these things. I had all the dreams, but I'm like, I'm $35,000 in debt. Being on campus and all this, and I was like, 1 year, I can get help. 4 more years, 30, 20, 68. I was like, I'm going to no, we're going to put that to the back burner. So I told her, I said, sign me up. Sign my cousin up. We both get in. And my cousin, I fell in love with it. I said, man, this is my way out. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to be good at this thing. Didn't realize God had already put it in me. I went first week of school. You didn't supposed to get on the floor until you had $200. I'm telling on Pat Goins, they ain't in business no more, so y'all can't sue them. You don't supposed to go to school for 200 hours. That's almost 2 months.
Right.
Here I am, first day. I'm curling hair with Marcel's because it was 4 black ladies that came to the predominantly white school wanting service. And baby Miss, what's that little lady name? She was such a hustler, baby. She didn't want them coins to leave the school. And she was like, anybody, she went in the back, anybody know how to use Marcel's? Anybody? And I said, I do. And she said,
Yeah.
we got a pair in the thing if you know how to use them, because we got 4 people up here that need their hair done, and they refuse to use the spring irons and pay this kind of money because, of course, they made us pay more than they paid. They got a $5 hair set. We paid $15 to get our hair curled.
Oh, I ain't know that.
Oh, yeah. It was a whole thing. That's a whole nother thing.
Ooh, child.
But back to the story. So she gets the stuff out. I look in the closet. But remind you, this is a school that's supposed to be teaching all types of hair.
Right.
They got Marcel's up in the corner with cobwebs. But predominantly the whole school is African American. It's probably 15 Caucasian young ladies, and the rest is all African American. So what are you teaching these young women? You're not preparing them for the real world, because when they go into a black salon, they got to know how to click. Because just like these ladies refusing for $15.
Gonna be the same thing.
You think for $35, $40, $50, they're going to just let me click? No. You're going to have to come correct.
You're gonna have to.
Come correct.
Especially with a black woman in her hair.
Right.
Her hair. So they pulled it out. I curled that lady, curled the other lady. Baby, next thing I know, I was averaging 15 to 20 people in a day.
Wow.
In beauty school. Had no idea that God was setting me up.
Setting you up.
Had no idea, because on set, when I started, when we have big background days, we averaged between 15 to 100, 200, 300 people. Had no idea
Setting you
until
up.
I got on set and he revealed it to me, that how far back that the setup was already happening. Did not know.
I got to speak to somebody right
on, speak.
quick.
I know.
Because
Speak to somebody.
you've been doing this thing for long, and you've been wondering, like, God, when is my time going to come? Keep
Chills.
working.
Keep putting in the work.
Keep working. This
Trust in
is
the
true
process.
testament to where,
Yes.
and that just spoke so much to me, because I'm in this season. I'm like, Lord, I'm
Oh, yeah.
looking,
Just
like I'm
trust the
looking,
process.
but I know to keep doing it. I
Keep
know
doing
to
it.
keep moving, and I don't know why, when, but I know
Yes.
eventually.
Because I ended up finishing school, and sad story, my cousin ended up dropping out 2 weeks later. And that's when I realized God was setting me up.
Setting you up.
But
You
the
thought you
heart-
were helping
but-
her.
But the heart of help.
The heart posture.
That's why
I'm
I'm
about
trying
to
to
run.
tell y'all.
That heart
Be
posture is
a
what matters.
Giver. Be a giver. Help people. Because in my process of helping her, God helped me.
Your blessings. Yeah.
Do you understand?
I do understand.
and
Even
I
though
don't-
she revoked hers, because she could have been right here with me.
Yeah.
But she revoked hers, and that goes back again by choice. She should have trusted the process, but she was so, the mindset, she wasn't ready. And when you're not ready to receive God's blessing, you will forfeit a lot of things and have to go the long way around. That's the blessing of
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
that He'll bring you back if you get back in within Him.
Yeah.
And He'll bring you back. But if you don't, then you just keep wandering.
I
And
think
trying
that's
to
why.
figure it out.
I think that's why they was in the wilderness for so long.
That's
Right.
exactly why, because they spoke doubt. We just
Come
went over
on.
a lesson on that. They spoke doubt. They kept saying, we're going to die in the wilderness. We're going to die in the wilderness. And get what happened? They died in the wilderness.
Manifested it.
So that's what happened to me. That's the reason why we're here. I did a fashion show here to help one of my friends out, and I didn't charge him at all, not knowing that my blessing was here.
Exactly.
I met the lady, the property manager here. We started talking. She said, listen, I got some space on this other building, but I don't have the keys today. Can you come back tomorrow? I came back tomorrow. I love this space. I brought my father in, and I'm like, man, wow. So I understand what you're saying by just helping somebody else. Here come a blessing, come right there. So
That's how
I'm
it
thankful
'Cause the
for
word
hearing
is,
the word of God. Like,
Whatever
seriously.
the measure you sow, is the
You gotta
measure you're
reap.
going to receive.
Come on.
You can't
Come
sow
on.
tomatoes and get cucumbers.
Because that ain't how it go.
That ain't how it go.
That ain't how it
So
go.
if you helping, you sowing seeds of help, God is always going to be that reward.
So where you want to go, like
Right.
they say.
Come on.
That's good. I like that.
Come on.
So
So
where you
want
want
to
to go.
go.
Exactly. And without grudging and without thinking
Good
that somebody
intentions.
owe you. and
Heart. We
goes
got
back to
that
the
heart posture.
heart, right.
And that's one of the things that I want to
Yes,
speak
that's
to
good.
Shreveport
Yes,
right
let's
quick.
speak. Let's speak.
Heart posture. Like you said, you were you knew that you were going to be good.
Knew it.
Your heart posture was to help someone else who you knew didn't quite have the mindset, and you knew that if you did it, you felt that she would kind of be more successful if you were to assist her. The heart posture is what matters.
Yes,
you didn't go in saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this because I'm gonna make $100,000." The heart posture, it wasn't about you.
It wasn't even about me.
It wasn't about you at all. All right, so
I'll sit on
that. I will sit on that all day. So
Okay.
what was the next? So
leaving that situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
My auntie, Mala Tucker, Mala Brown now, Mala
Yes.
Brown.
Come on.
She the owner of Beauty's Hair Salon.
Okay.
At that point, her and her good friend had been doing hair together. They had developed a salon then together. But her friend ended up having an allergic reaction to chemicals on her hand. Here I am, freely just getting out of school. You know how long it normally takes to build up a clientele?
I can imagine.
At least 3 to 5 years to have a steady clientele.
Wow.
I walked into, my auntie hit me. My mama had told her I had just got my license. She said, "Tell Mona, I got a spot she want to rent because there's a lot of folk that my friend had and I can't accommodate because I got to do my own people." And I walked into a 17-year setup. But you said something before about the work. I had been putting in the work.
You had been putting in the work.
So when I walked in, I was able to hold down.
Right.
That 17-year
Come on
clientele.
now.
I'm ready.
And then
Well
off of
prepared.
that, built off them saying Mona did my hair. That, and it went from that to that to that. So I never was without clients.
Wow.
Not a day. Until one
Faithful.
time I got cocky and to go back to that hard posture and humble. That's why y'all will never see me take credit for nothing because God spanked me early before I even walked into the film industry.
Wow, what happened?
Babe, I was so cocky and so proud of my little old mustard tail.
Come on.
Got your mustard tail.
Mustard tail.
You
Mustard.
smell
Because
yourself.
at that
Smell
point,
it.
I wasn't in the Word.
All right.
I had not gotten rededicated to God. So here I am. God is blessing. And I'm thinking, babe,
you.
I'm doing my thing. This is me because I'm doing the work. Man, I remember one day one of the clients got beside herself and said something, but I could have handled it different. And I told her out of my mouth, I don't need you. I'm going to get where you want, I'm going to get 4. And baby, I think that made God mad. Because he said she is besides herself. And I said, and I remember it coming out of my mouth and God said, did you hear what you said? And I'm not in the Word at this point, but I hear that voice. And I'm like, what that mean? I'm still cocky. I went and walked out the door, closed the door, and I sat there waiting on my clients. Baby, why? Call, cancel. Another call, cancel. Cancel. And I was like, oh, okay, they just cancel. So I'm thinking it's normal. I'll come back tomorrow and do the same thing I'll normally do. Cancel. Cancel. Everybody started canceling. So by that third day, I'm peeping game now. I said, wait a minute. I ain't never had this many people cancel on me on big days. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's that meat and bread.
That's the meat potatoes right there.
I'm about to eat.
And I got folks canceling that always came. And see, this is what God was leading me to him too. Because now I'm hearing his voice, but he's bringing me. And my Sunday school teacher, Miss Shirley Leon, which is my pastor's sister, she was coming to my auntie, her and her daughter Tish. And they would say little things, you know, as they come in and talk about Calvary, my church.
Come on.
Talk about Calvary. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. That's cute. Because remind you, I was raised up in the church, but I stopped once I became an older teenager. And I was like, man, I don't need it. Nobody else going, so what? But they would be in there talking about God. And I'd just be like, wow, man, I wish no, ain't nobody really asking me to go. So I'm just like, oh, okay. But that third day, cancellations. And I remember getting up and I walked to the door and I opened the door of the shop. And I said, God, if you're real and you say who you are, I hear your voice. I hear this voice. I humble myself and I am sorry. I would never treat nobody like that ever again. Even though she was wrong, I was wrong for handling her like that as well. And I remember closing the door. Baby, that next day, pow, Everybody was coming. I was just like, wow, God, you are real. And I remember going, you know how we do once the blessing come back, we forget God. Quick. It's so funny how we'll beg him and drop him so quick when he show himself, and we drop him every time.
I need you to get out of my relationship business.
Because, baby, I dropped him like a bad habit because now I'm working. But then I found out I was pregnant with my youngest son. I'm hot mad because I ain't want to be pregnant. I know every mama's different. I just ain't like being pregnant.
Listen,
I love
high
my
five. I
love my
understand,
kids,
sis.
but I did not like being pregnant.
Worst part. If they could
my
come here
God.
at 10, I have some more.
If they can come here at 1, I'd take it. But it's just the whole process of my body going through, and I don't think men understand.
They don't get it.
What our bodies go through. We literally are putting our life at risk every time we have a child. That's why I be telling folk, if you got children, especially male, and like my sons, I be on them like white on rice. Appreciate that woman if she allowed that body to change like it does, because Lord knows.
Lord knows.
Hey, I respect y'all.
Ooh, when I
was there in
tell you
labor.
that
I respect
labor
y'all,
pain,
man.
Jesus.
I respect y'all. Like,
Because guess what?
seriously.
Guess how big my last baby was?
Jesus.
10
Tell us.
pounds, 10 ounces.
Oh.
So
22 and a half inches long.
So my oldest son was 9 pounds, 11 ounces, 21 inches. But my 14-year-old, he was 24 inches.
So you know.
Yeah, he's 14 right now.
And you had him
300.
too?
I had him.
Me too.
Had him.
See, most people have cesareans, but I had him.
Pushed.
And I said,
pushed
Lord, you
on
know
that.
what? I'm good. Y'all,
Done.
when I seen him, he breathed and he was sitting there looking like he lifting weights.
Time up.
I said, Lord, thank you. I said, but you ain't got to bless me no more. I'm
At all.
good.
I'm good.
Because each baby got bigger. Philip was 7'14", Chris was 8'8", and Cameron was 10'10". I said, the next one going to be 14'14".
Oh, no,
I'm
not
good.
out of me.
You have a
Not out of
giant.
me. I said, I don't want to have no more. No, I'm good. And I remember that.
Let me stop you right quick as you saying something about your sons, but shout out to your middle son.
Oh, my baby.
Come on. If y'all know about Jamie Foxx and all this deal, her son was able to stand in for Jamie Foxx during his period of time.
He's the clone that everybody was calling my
Yes.
son a clone.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Yes.
So Jamie Foxx really does have a clone. No.
Yes. And also too, he was there for the Netflix thing.
For the comedy show. He called
Front
him
row.
back. Yeah.
Front row.
He called him back
Got
to stand
pictures,
in
yes.
and because they
All that.
actually was doing other things,
Yes.
but they didn't use it in the final cut, and they asked him to even dress up in the same attire, so we had to order stuff. It was so much fun. He was so
Yes.
excited because we even got approached by TMZ, all different stuff when all this had happened, because it was so funny because I was working on another show called Back in Action,
Yeah,
which is about
yeah.
to come out in
Come on.
January
Yes,
17th.
yes. Come on.
That I did the first part that was in Atlanta. They did 90% of it in England, and then the other part that came to Atlanta supposed to have been just 2 weeks. But ended up being on set. I was like, dang, I get a chance to talk to Jamie because I worked with Jamie on Just Mercy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I get to see my boy again. And his sister, Deidre, that he was talking about in the show,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
always do his hair. Dee was so cool. We used to kick it, laugh, have so much fun on set when we
Yeah.
did Just Mercy. And I was like, so excited. But the AD come in, assistant director, for those who don't know what an AD
Come
is.
on, yeah.
The AD came in and it was like, man, you guys need to pick somebody to be Jamie's double. And I was like, I know somebody that look like him. They always say he look like him. I said, but my son is way taller than him. I said, but he's available if y'all want to see him. She was like, well, get some pictures for me. You know how
Yeah,
they be
you
talking.
gotta be
Get
right,
some pictures
right.
for me, and we're gonna run it by the director.
Headshots.
And I'll let you know, Mona. Yeah. But other than that, these guys, none of the guys look even nowhere near not even his size, not even his height. And I was like, well, and they hit back. It wasn't even 30 minutes. She came back. Tell your son, can he be available for this?
Yes.
Because he looks really like
Yeah,
him.
he does.
Wow.
He does. Yeah.
And I was just like,
I had no
wow.
idea. I didn't know that.
Oh my God, Chris! Even up to the freckles,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
he looks
It's
just like
crazy,
him. It's absolutely crazy how much my son looks. And I didn't believe it at first until I started
you
working
and
with
Jamie
Jamie.
had some. I'm
But
like,
what was so crazy
find
on
how you want
Just
to tell.
Mercy, the
It ain't
last
that far
day,
from Shreveport now.
the last day that we shot, that he shot,
He did come down
I
here.
said, you know what, my baby called, and I said, Chris, you know what, I'm gonna ask Jamie. I'm gonna tell Jamie. I said, Jamie, come over here. He came on the back of me. He said, what's Mo? And I said, Jay. I said, I know people be saying folk be looking like you. I said, but I got somebody that look like you for real. He was like, for real? I showed him on FaceTime. He's like, bruh.
We ain't never
Look,
had.
he was like, we ain't. I said, boy, no. He was like, but that, he like, got the, man, boy, do you know you look like me for real? Like, it's so uncanny that you look like me.
So does your son aspire to act or do any of that?
Oh, yeah, he got it from his mama, child.
Yes, I love it.
He always loved that type of stuff. So when we finally got him on set, I got my boy Sincere to cut his hair on set. They put the fake beard on because my son don't have no facial hair like that. So they put the fake hair on him. We go to set. My son said, Mama, am I going to be able to meet him? I said, are you? I said, he'll be on set. He going to have to give you direction and stuff when you have to portray him. I said, trust me, you'll be able to talk to him. Jamie gets out the car coming on set because we, when you see the movie, it's going to be like his kids playing. No, can't give it out because it ain't came out yet. But it's exclusive. We'll be out in a big field.
Yeah.
So he comes out and he just shaking everybody. I see D, I go hug and, hey D, what's up? And they just walking. He's shaking everybody's hand. But as he walking, he looking up at Chris like, he walk over and he said, man, this all me. He called his other daughter, the one Annalise, over. She was like, this boy look just like me, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So that was an amazing experience with your son and Jamie Foxx. How did that make you feel as a mom?
I was so proud because, first of all, getting the opportunity to be on such a major set.
Right.
Then somebody that they always called him. They called him that he went to Grambling as well.
Okay.
They always called him Buns or what's another name of one of his characters he played? Because when, you know, on that particular movie, he had shaved sides and dreadlocks, and Chris wore his hair like that. That's when I first learned how to do dreadlocks, and they would always call him Buns. And so when he got the opportunity, he was just like, Mama, this is a chance of lifetime. You told me that I was going to meet him. I said, of course. I said, they keep calling you him. Y'all going to have to meet because they keep calling you. It's going to manifest.
Yeah, manifest, right.
And he came on set, looked up, and he was like, man, this is all me. This boy look like he could be my son for real. Tell me, you taller than me though, boy. But yeah, he look like. So they shake. I got pictures of them shaking hands.
I'm looking for pictures.
Got pictures of him shaking hands with him and all that. And they all just, we was there. Chris ended up going from 1 day to 2 days to 3 days. And then, you know, of course, Jamie got sick. And then Chris ended up standing in for him and actually getting the opportunity to act on side of Cameron Diaz, which was one of my biggest my female.
It went viral too. It went viral. Like his picture,
Yeah.
her son face is around the world. Like
That's
when
the one that when TMZ
yeah,
dropped
when
it.
TMZ took the picture.
And what was so crazy, that particular day, I had started working on piano lesson, but I still was department heading over there. I had left my team over there, and I brought my other team, and I went back over to make sure Chris was good. And in my spirit, I lied to you not, because we was downtown Atlanta in this parking lot by this place, and I said, no, you're right, Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit said, yeah, TMZ is out here. And I said, I bet they are, God. I said, because this is a good TMZ spot. And sure enough, they was out there, and they got that
Snapped
picture.
it too.
And
Good
he was
picture.
walking, and he literally was talking to me when his head was turned. He was talking to me, but they cut me out.
Right.
And I did not know until they had posted it. They had called his name, but they didn't say his last name because they didn't talk to us. But somebody had gave my child name, said, "Oh yeah, this is the double his stunt," because they had him confused with his stunt guy, which is Travis. And what's so crazy, Travis, I did his hair on Emancipation. He was a Will Smith stunt guy.
Wow. So wait, you worked on Emancipation too. Give me. So right quick, give us. We're gonna have a Mona
You
B
ain't
fun
low budget
fact.
movies now. Y'all hearing now?
Give me your top 3 all-time favorite movies that you worked on.
I can't. All mine that I done worked on has.
It got to be
been
top 3.
No, all of them. Let's say my experiences on set have always been grand.
Well, what has been your top 3 biggest movies?
My biggest moments or biggest movies?
Both.
One of my biggest moments.
The lovely hair storytellers of The Color Purple, Jorge, Lawrence Davis, and Miss Mona. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Nice to be here.
So nice to meet you all. And The Color Purple musical, just everything about it aesthetically was fascinating. Tell us about the importance of storytelling through hair.
Wow. First of all, it is a story. So first of all, you always want to stay authentic, stay authentic to whatever the period is, stay authentic to whatever the story is, and be able to create looks that people can resonate with. People can look at the look and know exactly where you're coming from. I'm so sorry.
Make sure you're in the frame. We're gonna get these beautiful faces.
making sure you're able to tell the story through the hair is the total picture.
Yes, and what is the importance of us telling our own story?
It is so important for representation. So many people were so excited to see the faces that were behind the scene because it matters in so many ways. Understanding texture, being able to be allowed. That's why I was so grateful when Lawrence called me to be his key hairstylist, because we're on the same page. We want to make sure that everything is authentic and that natural hair be allowed to tell its story because of its beauty.
And being able to have a kinky edge and know that that is a part of our history.
Yes. And in terms of storytelling through hair, what are some things that you all look forward to seeing in Hollywood?
Well, we look forward to seeing it as we love to see natural hair.
Yes.
Natural hair, not all about straightening it out, having the edges, having the kinks, having the curls, and enhancing it.
Yeah, understanding from the levels of texture. From one
Meeting Denzel was high too, because that was my first actual encounter too.
Come on,
Denzel.
not the Denzel.
Yeah, meeting Denzel, him shake my hand and introduce himself to me. Oh my God, the first time that I actually was on a full-time film that I got credit for was The Great Debaters.
The Great Debaters, right here in Shreveport. That happened right here in the 318.
Yeah, we shot some in Mansfield. We shot some all over Shreveport, and we shot one day actually at Wilder Colleges, where the college that I went.
So that had to be totally full circle for you.
Full circle. We actually got background ready in the gym that I played basketball in.
We gotta go, but you gotta go back and speak at Wiley and talk to the kids there.
I just went to homecoming. That was so crazy. And Nate Parker, that played in the film, him and Denzel both still give back. And Nate started an actual film program there.
Wow.
And I'm so excited. And I definitely, now that I'm shifting in my career, that's one of my goals, is to go back to the school and see where I can fit in to pour into any more youth, in the film industry, because I'm producing as well now. So I'm shifting.
Come on here.
Shifting
You better
as well.
produce as well.
I just produced helped a young lady produce actual YouTube series. Another young man, he did a pilot that they're gonna pitch to Netflix and Amazon, and so I'm on that. And me and my friend girl, we produced. I executive produced with her on a series of things called COVID stories. She had an idea doing COVID, and it's a documentary about the different things that happen to different women, Black women especially, their effects and how COVID helped or hindered. Because some of the ladies, by her being online, her business was online, it boomed. And then there's other young ladies that had an actual store, shoe store. It hindered.
Right.
And then I was actually in it as well. And my part of the story was how I almost lost my life. I had COVID that first round, and it hit really hard, and how it affected me and mentally, because I was a long hauler as well. It would not get out of my system.
Wow.
And it mentally, it did a lot to me, those 4.5 months of having, being told you're still positive, and having to be isolated. And at that point, they didn't really know, it was in my system, but they didn't know that I wasn't contagious at that point, but they didn't know.
Isolation.
The isolation. And then one time the young lady was not trained. And, they had to stick the thing so far up. She stuck it far up and burst one of my membranes, and my blood everywhere, and couldn't drive home. It was a whole lot. So, So
how can one, has that been released? Can one watch the COVID stories? How can one...
you know what? I need to get Joyce to shout out to my girl Joyce. That was such a great docuseries, and we actually won a couple awards for it.
Wow!
Across the pond.
Congratulations!
Yes,
Congratulations!
That was her dream to get it out, and one of her cousins was a medical profession, and she gave her point of view of it. It's a great. It really is a great series. But now that you said that, you guys go on my page. I'm gonna get her to put the link out, because it's been a while since we
would love to support that.
Yeah, we put together and shot it and put it out there. And she was like, one day somebody told her, "Girl, submit it. And she did, and we did well.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
So yeah, I'm fishing in a lot of different directions of things.
So I love, and that's another thing that I love about you. You're so much more. It's more than you're an experience, right? So it doesn't matter if a person is sitting in your chair getting a hairstyle. It's more than a hairstyle. Oh, yeah. I don't care if a person is having a conversation with you. You're more than a hairstylist, right? Yeah. So it's always a whole life-altering experience when a person has the opportunity to experience you. What can we expect from you coming up? Is there anything new you have coming? Anything on the horizon we should be, spill the tea for us? Let us know what we could be expecting.
I'm getting ready to get out of here with literally next week. I thought I was going to leave this weekend, but this bad weather that's coming.
I know,
weekend.
Right?
So
I don't think it's really going to do nothing, though.
Yeah, it's going to do a little something. It's not going to be as bad. That big one that they had a few years ago, I was actually shooting a TV series called The Women of the Movement when that one hit. And they didn't think it was going to do nothing either. But that girl locked us up for almost a week.
Oh, Lord.
It was that much ice on the ground. And I shut that thing down because they was like, yeah, we can. I was like, no, y'all going to shoot without me because me and my team ain't going nowhere because a lot of things take place when they right to meet them quotas. And I'm like, I love everybody, but there's life after shooting.
Know that.
And my life is very important, and I will not allow myself to be put in a compromised position. And the producer came back later, and he was like, Mona, thank you for, being stern about that because we was just under the gun and with the production, and they wanted us to still, do that. I was like, I get that too. I produce as well. I said, but it comes a time when you just have to call the insurance day.
You have to.
And then when they realized it was so bad, so I don't play because I can't stand ice because it's not the snow, it's be that ice. And that ice, it's going to be a little bit come this way. Okay. But I was going to head to Atlanta to shut some things down before I get out of here because I'm going to fly out of here. But my next one, I can't really talk about at this point because I signed an NDA. But, yeah, I'm about to experience something.
But I heard it's kind of good.
Yeah,
good.
It's one.
Mona, be good.
Yeah, it's one that blew my mind when I actually read the book. It's based off a book. It's a fantasy, my first fantasy genre. I've done just about every genre except for fantasy.
Wow.
And so to get this opportunity to be asked, I was like, God, are you serious? And then, of course, even though I've been doing it 17 years, still have that, am I the right person, Lord? You sure? You sure? And God has reassured me so many times, and I'm still scared. Y'all pray for me because this is something that I have never done.
Okay.
This genre.
So when you say the fantasy genre, what do you mean?
The genre
fantasy?
is just like when that it's magic. It's they're calling it the Black Harry Potter in a sense.
Okay.
It's going to be magical things. It's going to be animals that you never seen and things of that things of plants.
Truly magical.
Truly magical and just different. And that genre is, I can say, like I said, like Harry Potter, when different things that is found. But you're going to love it because it's love in it. It's all of us. It's all us.
We love everybody, but it's
all us. And that's the part that's really tearing because, well, not tearing, but making me tear up is because natural hair will be on the forefront to be able to be seen with its beauty. And that's my goal.
People don't realize how much that's just not it. When it comes to the industry, a lot of the times we even see even BET, right? So we see BET, so we just assume that, it's BET. So there's all sorts of black hairstylists, black makeup artists and things of that sort. But we don't realize how the industry is so big and the black representation is so minimal.
And Atlanta makes a lot of people think that it's
like we've arrived.
But we're so far because I'm a numbers girl. So when you look at the numbers and see how many other people are represented versus us as a culture, where the percentage is still nowhere near half or nowhere near what I feel like it should be. But I'm just like I was telling you earlier, I'm not, opposed to just skin knowing skill, because for me, being that I'm an educator as well, because I started doing online trainings and in-person trainings for hairstylists, And that's the reason why, because of the representation. But I'm such a teacher's child. My mom was a teacher
Right.
for 30-some years. And she said, if you're ever going to do something, you be the best at what you do. And you have to train. You have to train. You have to train. And I realized as I was working with other artists, I would show them how God would reveal things to me. And they was like, Mona, have you ever thought about doing training? And I was like, you know what? I should, because I have that type of zeal to be able to train. I can lead and I can show people in a way. I stepped out in faith during COVID. Another thing that came out of COVID, even though I almost died, but there was another thing that was birthed in me. Again, another spark, because when I first started doing hair, I would do hair shows and all that kind of stuff and do training for different companies and sit under them. But this was different, and I asked my friend Joyce, and she had a platform, South Carolina network that has opportunities for hairstylists to post about their work. And she was like, do your first one on my thing. And girl, I ended up having over, and I was like, nobody really gonna want to listen to me. Had one class talking about just basic period hairstyling, and I had almost 200-some people jump online. I was like, what? And it was such a great spark. And I just continued, and like now it don't always be that many, because you can't accommodate everybody. But I love the fact of those that like to invest in their craft and really pour into themselves, and it just sparks. It just excites me. But yeah, it started from COVID, made me go back and dig deep and get past myself, and then that's when God showed me. There's more to you even on that, girl.
So that were some really bad things from COVID, but overall, there are some great things that came about it as well. So I know we've been talking forever. We will talk it out, honey. But I have to totally touch on this. I watched the piano lesson, totally loved it. How did it feel to work with, because you've worked with Denzel before, right? So
that's
now,
third time's a charm.
Right, third time's a charm, right?
I did fences with them as well.
Really?
Yeah,
come on. See, I told you, y'all. She did fences as well. How did it feel to now work with his sons? Do they have his mannerisms? Like, girl, I need the tea. Tell me about how it was to work with Denzel and sons.
Yeah, and his wife, Miss Pauletta, was there.
Okay.
She was there every day.
I love her.
Oh, she's amazing. His other daughter, Katia, and she was executive producer, and his baby girl, Olivia, she has a cameo as well.
Okay.
She was there in between her shooting, but John David Washington is a hoot, such a delight, and if you close your eyes, you would think that you was talking to Mr. Washington himself.
Really?
He sounds so much like, if you go back and look at the movie again and close your eyes and just listen. His cadence and everything, we used to always be laughing and say, man, his voice sounds just like his daddy. This is crazy. But he's just a sweet, but Malcolm, which is the baby boy, which is the director, such a sweetheart. I've met all three of them on Great Debaters. That was so crazy.
Wow.
Met all of them on Great Debaters, but they were young. They were little bitty. They don't remember, but I remember the day when I met Miss Pauletta and them when they came to see him while we were filming. But to see them now, to walk into their greatness and the love of the craft in itself for themselves. And what I love about Mr. Washington and Miss Pauletta, they didn't force feed none of that. They didn't play you got to get in where you fit in. You got to earn your keep.
I can tell. I can tell.
They are that family. You got to earn it. You got to get in there. But the great part about how they raised their children, you can see they wouldn't take it no other way. Malcolm came in with his own objective of, and that's what I was telling him yesterday, because he actually called me congratulating me for the nomination, and I was congratulating him and telling him thank you for, trusting me to be able to bring these characters from the script to the screen, being that this is his first baby and all this. And he was like, Miss Mona, thank you so much for being there. I was so happy that they told me about you and you came and did this with us. And he was so excited, and I was so excited. And I just told him, I was like, your eye to detail and the way your perspective and you think outside the box and wanting to bring, August Wilson's baby to life and bring it in a way where it was, and it looked real. Like it was so much.
I felt like I was in that thing. I got scared.
So much detail that they gave.
I was relieved. I felt like I was entrenched. Yeah. Y'all did such a good job with the characters. I am not a big back in the day film person, because they have the accents are horrible. It's not believable. It's just I don't like it. It doesn't put me in that period. But I felt like I was there, and it was so real, and it was so good. So congratulations for the amazing accomplishment. Being nominated for an NAACP award is not a small feat.
No.
Like, that's amazing.
Do you know how many submissions that was turned in? Do you know how many film that was done last year?
Do I?
And they picked 5. And not just, I got 1 nomination. I did Fight Night as well. So I was a key on that one. We got nominated for Fight Night as well for the NAACP.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me, I'm sorry, you didn't brought the Cedar Grove out of me. I just started clapping. You mean to tell me you got 2 nominations?
Yes.
High five.
Ain't God good?
That he is, to God be all the glory.
I was behind the Terrence Howard wig on Fight Night. That was me.
Terrence Howard wig.
That was a whole character in itself. The wig became a whole character by itself.
So I was telling my niece, shouts out to my niece Mariah, I was telling my niece that I was interviewing you today, and she's a huge fan of like all movies and things of that sort. So she was like, who is this you're interviewing again? So I told her about you, and I started telling her different things that you've been in and stuff like that. And so she was like, oh, tell her that she needs to go and she needs to be over Tyler Perry.
So we don't call names. I'm gonna turn to the left. We don't call names.
We're gonna take that name. We're gonna edit that name out.
Look,
but she suggested that because she literally mentioned the fact that how your wigs look so natural. Like no matter if it's a male or a female, but your pieces always look so natural. So she was like, oh, yeah, tell Miss Shreveport she needs to go and help such and such out because they ain't got it together.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's why we don't call names.
So, how do you, I mean, there has to be a talent, but how are you able to like dig into your mind and bring back decade from 30 years ago?
Well, it's research. I am a research queen. Like right now for my next job, my phone cannot even ring. I have just that many photos in my phone. Every job that I do, that I am either the key, if I'm the department, which I run the department, or if I'm just a third, which is the third person in line, or an additional, which is a person that just comes in and help build on big days. Whatever, when I find out the assignment, what it's about, if they tell me, oh, it's the 1940s, if it's I get on that good phone. That's why I be telling people now, there's no excuse for you not to have what you need now. Because back when I did Great Debaters, like I said, in what it was 2007, we didn't have the access of being able to have the phones. If you did, you paid an arm and a back for it. So I had to go to the library. That's what God told me to do, go to the library and look up photos. And I took photos because remember I told you about how I started?
Yep.
From a photo.
You did.
So I went back to what
he had already put in.
What started. And I went to the library. I looked it up. And I got pictures. I got them copied, put them in a book, and I even on that one even had opportunity to get local hairstylists that worked in the salon with me opportunities to work on set as well. And some of them still, like my girl Christina, I still get her from time to time. But my cousin that owned the shop that I worked in, Blessed Hands, shout out to Blessed Hands, Tanya Houston. She was able to come and she was like, "Good man, that's a whole experience." And I wish everybody could come one day on set.
Right.
Seriously, just to be a part of it, to see. I think people have more respect and have more appreciation of entertainment because they have no idea all the stuff like that
goes
in here.
into it. Yeah,
we have to
it's
set
a
up
lot.
things and
lot.
get things hooked up and prepared just to be able to do a 15-minute situation a lot of times. But yeah, it's a lot of research, and I don't take it lightly because, especially if it's something that was really real, if these people existed, and if it's something that that really read like it was a thing, I made sure that I always dig deep and go in one rabbit hole. Because like for Emancipation, when I was talking about Emancipation, that guy, I prayed for that one to come to me, and God sent it.
Wow.
Women of the movement during COVID, when I was actually isolated. I seen it on Instagram rolling, and I seen on this guy's Wilson something film. He always talk about our stuff. and I rolled up on it, and Women of the Movement popped up the first time that Emmett Till's story was going to be told.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, God, because of that situation you just said, the wrong person get it. And it was going to be a disaster.
Right.
It was going to be a disaster.
Right.
And I was like, okay, God, if it's not me, please let the right person get it, because I want Emmett's story told. And then it was a series, so I was like, wow, they're going to finally be able to know what happened to this baby and how his mother, and I never, you know, you hear the story from being from Louisiana, so of course you understand from Mississippi. And my grandmother told me about this child all my life. And to get an opportunity, I was like, Lord, I would love that. Because I know I will make these people look real. I will make sure that no distractions, nobody be laughing at the lace, nobody be none. They would hear this mother's heart cried out. And then next 3 days, rolling, Emancipation pops up. I was like, oh my God, Will Smith is going to play Will Peter. Oh my God, Lord. I know I just asked you about that one too. But God, I would like this one too.
Come on here.
I don't know, but if it's not me.
You a big guy.
But I'm like, if it's not me though, but just make sure the right person, because he's from Louisiana. He was from
heart posture.
Exactly. He was from the Chapalaya area. He was the first African-American slave that actually ran and was able to be able to tell the story that to this day we still can find him. He made a mark and a stamp, and that whole thing changed the dynamic of that war. Because he was the first one to ever go viral. Yeah. His pictures was across the pond. They took it all across the pond. People was talking about him, and still to this day. And I was like, yes, God, tell a story. But if it's not me, then I'm strolling again. Woman King pops up. And I was like, man, I want to do Woman King too, Lord. I know I talked about the other two because I studied them because I did a TV show called Lovecraft Country. And it was and Ingenue Ellis, I did Ingenue on that one. And so when she went through her little trip,
big productions, y'all. She just mows it right on over it like it's just so small.
Because you know she had that one trip, that her episode when she was going through all those different people, and when she was playing the African woman, that's what they were portrayed. It was inspired by the Dahomey women, which is who Viola Davis played, was the queen of that was a part of this Dahomey tribe. And I was like, Lord, I know I asked for them other ones, but I want this one too. And I was like, okay, but I don't know nobody that's connected to none of these things. Right. So I was like, I don't know nobody, but you know, I'll put it out there, Lord. Fast forward, I get hit by the producer for the Umbrella Academy. They offered it. I took the job, excited about it. But then things started happening. They kept extending it. My agent wasn't doing stuff right. And then my son had a situation. I couldn't go. And I was like, man, well, I could fix it. And I was like, but my spirit said, no, you need to be home. And I was like, okay, God, I'm just going to be home. Okay. Hurt, because that was one of the biggest. Right. I had never got paid that much. I was finna get paid. And I was like, oh, Lord, okay, this would put me in a nice financial situation. I got to walk away. I said, but I'm good. My child, my family, I'm good, because I couldn't. It was going to take me away almost a year. Wow. And I was like, I ain't never been gone that long. Yeah. And out of the country, and COVID still going. I get stuck with the things. Right, a lot. And I talked to my friend girl. She was like, I don't think I won't be mad if you don't take it. And I was like, this is the key. We're going to drop it. So I called my agent and said, let the producer know. Still nice guy, still in touch with him. And he was like, I understand. And 3 days later, guess what? What? Strolling through my email. Hi, Andrea. We're just contacting you about Women of the Movement. I said, clean up on the couch. I said, Lord, I know. I started wiping my eyes. I know you lie. I said, I know you lie. I told my son, I said, Philip, come read this. I said, please just read this slow, because I'm about to tear up. He said, yeah, they want to interview you for some show called Women of the Movement, which was the first one I prayed about, the Emmett Till one. Yeah. And I said, wow. And he was like, you want to respond? I said, yes. So he responded. Executive producer called me back literally within an hour. Wow. Got me on the phone with the director, which is the director for my next one. The next one that I'm about to do. The setup. Yeah. The setup. That I'm talking about. It's all connected. And her and the writer, MJ, shout out to MJ, such a great writer. And they got on the phone with me, and I remember doing an interview, and I was just pinching myself the whole time, and they was just asking me, like he was asking me, how you get your research and how you feel about this and this and that. And I was so excited and so inspired, because I've been doing periods, especially Irish period, because like right before COVID, I had just asked God. I was like, God, I love everybody. I said, but I want to make sure our stuff look right because so many don't put a lot of work. And I ain't talking about just them. I'm talking about us too.
Period. We need to move in a spirit of excellence more.
That's the part that really upset me because people that look like us was running some of the departments too and just didn't put the effort into it. Put no honor. And that's what I wanted for this one. And got off the phone. They was like, we're gonna get back with you. And it was when I took this job that I'm about to go to now that the director told me, she said, I was already texting her saying she the one. And I didn't know, but I was on pins and needles, but I was just excited that God had opened up the door to allow them to even know me. Yes. So when the executive producer called back and he said, Mona, it looks good for you. And I know we're in the wire because literally it was 3 weeks away from them getting ready to start shooting.
Wow.
It was during the Christmas break. I had to leave. They literally hit me up the second week of December. I needed to travel January 3rd, literally, for a period a period TV show, when I had averaged between 12 to 15 main actors a day. We ain't talking about background. But I ain't have a team. I ain't have nothing.
But you ready. You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
So when that phone call came back and he hit me, he said, you got the job. Congratulations. What can we do? I was like, send me a P card to get the wigs. Remind you, COVID. I went out looking for the wigs because I knew I had the job anyway, and I had scouted out these places. Got to the place, one of the ladies at this place where I found all the wigs at, they wouldn't let us shop because of COVID. Somebody had got sick. I cried like a baby in the car, and I was like, I do not have time. I literally got to leave in 3 days, and I still got to set, wash, cut, style, get this stuff prepped. My friend girl said, suck it up. Shout out to Angela Renee Dyson. Suck it up, Mona. I know you're hurt. Get your butt, go find what you need. Let's go. She said, that ain't how you roll. Because if this was you and me and in the other shoes, you'd have tell me the same thing. What can I do? Right. Got on, found all the wigs. Got there. Couldn't even get a custom wig for the young lady because there wasn't enough time. Custom wigs take at least a month.
Wow.
I had to use a store-bought wig for those. So that picture, what I just posted the other day with Emmett and her, that was a store-bought wig.
But you would never know it.
Never know.
Because you did your
I made that thing. Because what most people's problem is, especially with wigs and over-the-counter wigs, even custom wigs, it's density. Density is what tells the story. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. She giving the secrets. Giving the secrets. So
listen.
Natural hair don't grow like wig hair go. And most wig makers don't wear wigs. So what they do, they just put enough hair in. You have to customize them. So when you customize and take some of the weight out, because most people, especially in the front, that's why you see, and now I love the girls when they pluck the edges. That's all it is trying to make it has that natural flow. And that's what that comes from. And it's the shift of all my wigs. And that's why my wigs, on my team either, because even like on Piano Lesson, Michael Potts, he played Whining Boy. And his wig, his hair is very fine and short. But I want to make sure each character had its own distinct look. That's just how I am. That's with female and male. Right. So when you look at Piano Lesson, you see Avery, which is the preacher. Got that sharp part. He's more groomed because he would be more put together because he got a little salary and he has a job. Then Samuel, his look, even though I didn't do him, he has his own personal, Camille Friend is his personal. But we all played on the same piggyback.
Right.
So when I knew what she was going with him, I made sure that even with John David, I didn't do John David. Yvette Shelton is his personal, but we all collab. By him being a farmer, that's why we use his natural hair to give him that. He would be stylized a little bit, but not over stylized because we wanted to give that effect that he took care of himself because he had a father in his life. And his dad sold into him because his dad had a little structure to him, because back then they did.
Right.
And then with Whining Boy, I want to go with that little wave, that brush wave. I had the wig, shout out to Gretchen Evans that made my amazing wig. And she's such a great wig maker, but she gave me just enough texture, but added the 3 different textures in it. So when I waved it, it gave that natural, because now him being the middle brother, he would be stuck in his prime which will be Reed late 20s.
Right.
So that's why he has a little wave, because he thought and then he was a performer.
Yeah.
Because even with Erykah Badu, Erykah.
Oh, I forgot that. Yes, Erykah was your person that you did
I did
her
her too. And therefore, I was telling a story to Variety, the young lady, when I met her at the premiere after party, and she was like, Mona, I love her story. Can I do the write-up? And they did the write-up for Variety, and I was so excited about that. But just knowing her character, Lucille, was a traveler. She was more stylized because she would see the world. Right. So I didn't want to give so I gave her more of an elevation than with Bernice, which is Danielle Detweiler, because Danielle would be the everyday house mother. She would tend to herself, but she wouldn't be so, and especially the way she talked to her brothers and the things that she talked about. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the thing we have to do when we're developing characters.
I never realized that y'all are really developing characters. Like the research that goes behind it, and how you have to literally tap into those people. Like even how you were just talking about how you had to style him according to the fact that he had a dad in his life. So all of those
are the things that Mona B do.
Yeah,
so when it read right.
It's gonna read. I absolutely love that. And again, congratulations to your 2 nominations for the NAACP award. Tell everyone where they can follow you, and just if they want to catch up on anything Mona B, let people know how they can follow you and stay in the know, especially those people who may be aspiring hairstylists and wanting to know how to get into the game.
Yes, you can follow me on Andrea Mona Bowman on Facebook, Andrea Mona B on Instagram, and on TikTok. If you want to just ask me a question or anything, you could just inbox me. I'm very personal. I know some people are not personable, but I am very approachable because I be wanting to know much as I can to be able to help people. I'm still in that helping mindset of trying to place people where they can be and to know people, because I've always been kind of that girl that kind of been in the middle that can, I know such and such, let me put you on with such and such. So if you just inbox me, once I have an opportunity, I'll go check. I always check every inbox. So you will hear from me. It may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but just know
it's coming.
I'm going to get to it, because I have a lot of people inboxing me, especially for my classes and stuff. So people always are reaching out. But yeah, that's where you can find me at. And if you have any questions, just hit me, because if I don't know, I know people that do know. Right. And so I try to make sure people have the best answer, because a lot of times people tell you how to get in, but there's no fixed way of how to get in. All I tell most people is get tapped into your local film establishment. Like for Georgia is always known for its Georgia film festivals and all that kind of stuff. Dig into that kind of stuff, because that's a good way to go network and meet people that are on the same level, that are looking for people to collab with. Facebook is a good place too, because they have all these different communities, and people want to know if you're talented or give you an opportunity. Sometimes it'll be for free, 'cause everything ain't always about money. Because even to this day, I still collab. I do a lot of collabs because I be wanting my stuff to get done as well. And you don't always have money, but you always have that talent. So don't be too big to sow into, different people projects, because if you want your projects and things that you desire to manifest, you always want to be able to make yourself humble enough to collab and do the great work, not just know anything, but great work. Because I know at least 10 hairstylist opportunities just from collaborating.
Wow.
So it's a good way to get in there.
So what's your last piece of word or advice to wrap us with this? We need our Mona B moment. Go ahead and give us something powerful to take us out.
I would say trust God. If you don't know him, get to know him.
Quickly.
Trust God. Trust the process. But always train. Whatever part of life you're trying to go into. Learn what, when, where, and why. And it will take you farther than you will ever know.
That's good, y'all. It's your favorite girl in the world, D4. I am so excited. We had the opportunity to sit down and get a closer look at the amazing Miss Mona B. She's behind the scenes, making everyone look amazing on the screen. But we have the opportunity to sit down, hear your story, hear your heart, and get your motivation. We are truly blessed.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shouts out to our amazing producer, my business partner, Mr. T Vocals, the host who holds it all down for us. If you have not followed us, go follow us right now on all social media platforms, Culturally Connected. And yeah, hit us on the inbox. Let us know who you would like to see next. And also let us know which one of your Mona B movies is your favorite. We're going to get her this information back, but we want to know which movie that we've mentioned today or that we didn't mention, but what's your favorite Mona B movie? We want to let her know what you guys are thinking. Yes. Don't forget, always love yourself. Keep God first. We're out.
Peace.